The distress beacon had been dead for 20,000 years. Commander Vex stared at the holographic display, his three eyes blinking in sequence. Impossible. The signal was ancient, predating the Galactic Council by millennia. Yet here it was, pulsing with renewed life like a heart that had suddenly remembered how to beat. "Sir, you need to see this." Lieutenant Cora's voice cracked slightly, her blue skin paling to an alarming shade of gray. "I am seeing it, Cora. What I need is an explanation. The signature matches the old archives. The ones from the silence." Vex felt his blood chill. Every child in the galaxy knew about the silence. 20,000 years ago, humanity had simply vanished. Not died, not evacuated. Vanished. One day they were there, colonizing, exploring, making terrible jokes that nobody understood. The next day, every human settlement across 40 star systems was empty. Ships abandoned mid-flight. Meals left half-eaten. Children's toys scattered on alien soil. The galaxy had mourned, investigated, and eventually moved on. The prevailing theory was some sort of plague, or perhaps they'd ascended to another dimension. Nobody really knew. Nobody wanted to think about it too hard. "Where is the signal coming from?" Vex asked, though he already suspected the answer would ruin his day. "Sector 974. The Dead Zone." Of course it was. The Dead Zone was what everyone called the old human territory now. Hundreds of worlds, perfectly habitable, completely abandoned. Nobody went there. "Bad luck," they said. "Haunted," the superstitious whispered. "Set a course," Vex ordered, wondering if this was how his career ended. 3 days later, the starbound Virtue dropped out of hyperspace into a scene that belonged in a nightmare. Floating before them was a ship. Not just any ship. A human vessel, one of their old colony carriers. The Exodus variant, if Vex remembered his historical databases correctly. It was massive, dwarfed their cruiser by a factor of 10. And it was pristine. Not a scratch, not a hint of the cosmic weathering that should have eaten it alive over 20 millennia. "Life signs?" Vex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Cora checked her instruments twice. Then 3 times. "Sir, I am reading 17,000 biosignatures aboard that vessel. All human." The bridge went silent. You could have heard a pin drop in vacuum. "That is not possible," Vex said slowly. "Neither was their disappearance, sir. Yet here we are." "Fair point." Vex activated the communications array. "This is Commander Vex of the Galactic Council ship, Starbound Virtue. We are responding to your distress beacon. Please identify yourselves." Static. Then, cutting through like a knife through butter, a voice. "Human. Male. Tired. Council ship. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the UNSS Perseverance. We are requesting immediate assistance. Our cryogenic systems are failing. We have 17,000 souls aboard, and about 6 hours before things get very bad." Vex exchanged glances with Cora. Cryogenic systems. They'd been asleep. "Captain Webb, this is going to sound strange, but what year do you think it is?" A pause. Long enough to make Vex nervous. "It's 2247 by the human calendar. We left Earth 18 months ago." "Why? What year is it?" Vex did the mental math. By human reckoning, it was currently the year 22,247. "Captain Webb, I think you should sit down for this conversation. Actually, you should probably wake up your chief medical officer and your counseling staff too." "Commander, you are starting to worry me. Just tell me what is going on." "Captain, you have been asleep for 20,000 years. Every other human in the galaxy disappeared during that time. As far as we know, you and your passengers are the last humans in existence." Silence. Then laughter. Not hysterical, just genuinely amused. "Commander, that is the worst first contact joke I have ever heard. And I grew up with a brother who thought knock-knock jokes were peak comedy. Now, seriously, what is going on?" Vex pinched the bridge of his nose. Of course the humans would think this was a joke. Of course they would. "I wish I was joking, Captain. Transmitting historical data now." He nodded to Cora, who sent across a compressed file containing 20,000 years of galactic history, starting with the last confirmed human sighting. The silence that followed was much longer. When Webb's voice returned, all humor had evaporated. "You are serious?" "Unfortunately, yes. Everyone is gone. All of them. Every last one. You are looking at the xenobiologist who literally wrote her dissertation on what might have happened to your species." Another long pause. Vex could almost hear the man thinking. "Well then, Commander, I suppose we have a lot to talk about. Permission to dock." Vex smiled despite himself. Even facing extinction, even waking to a galaxy that had forgotten them, the humans were already moving forward. Permission granted, Captain Webb. Welcome back. The galaxy has been quieter without you. The docking procedure took 40 minutes, giving Vex plenty of time to panic quietly in his ready room. 17,000 humans. The last humans. On his ship, the Council was going to lose their collective minds over this. He could already hear the emergency sessions, the debates, the conspiracy theories. Some idiot would probably suggest it was a trap. A soft chime interrupted his spiral of anxiety. Commander, Captain Webb is requesting to meet you in Docking Bay 3. Vex straightened his uniform and headed down. When the airlock doors hissed open, he got his first look at a living, breathing human in person. The historical holos did not do them justice. Captain Webb was tall, maybe 2 meters, with dark skin and gray threading through his short hair. He looked exhausted, confused, and somehow still managed to smile. Commander Vex, I presume? They shook hands. The human custom felt oddly intimate, skin against skin. Webb's grip was firm, but not aggressive. Captain, how are your people handling the news? Webb's smile turned slightly brittle. About as well as you would expect. We have 300 people demanding this is an elaborate hoax, 500 in various stages of breakdown, and the rest are too shocked to process anything yet. My head medical officer sedated herself, which I am considering a reasonable response, honestly. I can arrange for counselors from multiple species. We have extensive experience with trauma, loss, cultural displacement. Appreciate it, Commander, but right now I need information more than therapy. What happened to us? Where did everyone go? Vex gestured toward the observation deck. Through the viewport, the massive human ship hung in space like a silent tomb. Nobody knows. Every theory has been proposed. Mass ascension, dimensional shift, plague, voluntary exodus, alien abduction. Some scholars think it was religious in nature. Others believe it was technological. After 200 centuries, the trail is beyond cold. Webb stared at his ship for a long moment. We were supposed to establish a colony on Kepler 442b. New Earth, we called it. Fresh start for humanity. And now you are telling me we are all that is left. I am afraid so. That is just fantastic. Webb rubbed his face. Okay. We adapt. That is what humans do, right? We adapt. So what now? Where do we go? What do we do? Before Vex could answer, Cora's voice cut through the intercom, sharp with alarm. Commander, we have a problem. Multiple hyperspace signatures incoming. Lots of them. Vex and Webb sprinted to the bridge. The tactical display lit up like a holiday celebration. 15 ships dropping out of hyperspace, surrounding them in a loose formation. Vex recognized the configurations immediately, and his heart sank. Thraken raiders, he muttered. Translation? Webb asked. Space pirates. Very violent space pirates. They must have detected your ship's energy signature. A human vessel would be worth a fortune to collectors and black market dealers. How violent are we talking? The kind that shoots first, loots the wreckage, then shoots again just to be sure. Webb's expression hardened. Not ideal. Can we fight them? Not 15-1. We should run. I can engage the hyperdrive in 90 seconds. What about my ship? My people? We evacuate who we can and destroy the Perseverance. We cannot let it fall into their hands. Absolutely not. Webb's voice went cold. That ship has 17,000 sleeping people on it. My people. I am not leaving them. Then we all die, Captain. That is the math. The lead Thraken vessel opened communications. The face that appeared on screen was reptilian, scarred, and grinning with way too many teeth. Unknown vessels. You are trespassing in Thraken space. Surrender your cargo, and we might let you live. Resist, and we take it anyway, along with your bodies for the organ markets. Vex opened his mouth to respond, but Webb stepped forward first. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the United Nations Starship Perseverance. You are threatening human civilians. You have 10 seconds to withdraw before we demonstrate why humanity does not negotiate with pirates. Vex stared at him. Captain, with all respect, what are you doing? We have no weapons that can handle 15 ships. Webb smiled, and there was something in that smile that made Vex's skin prickle. Something ancient and dangerous. Commander, did anyone ever figure out why humans disappeared? No, we established that already. Then maybe you should consider that we did not disappear. Maybe we hid. Webb turned to the Thrackan on screen. Final warning. Leave now. The pirate laughed. Foolish human. You just sealed your fate. The Thrackan ships began powering weapons. Vex prepared for death. Then Webb tapped his wrist communicator. Perseverance, this is Webb. Authorization code Phoenix 77 Alpha. Wake the Guardians. For 3 heartbeats, nothing happened. Then the human colony ship changed. Panels slid aside along its hull, revealing weapons batteries that absolutely should not exist on a civilian vessel. Point defense systems, rail cannons, missile pods. Enough firepower to make a council dreadnought jealous. What in the name of the old gods? Vex whispered. The Perseverance opened fire. It was not a battle. It was an execution. Precision strikes took out engines, weapons, life support. Within 90 seconds, all 15 Thrackan ships were drifting hulks. Webb turned to Vex with that same dangerous smile. You wanted to know what happened to humanity, Commander? Here's a hint. We got tired of being prey, so we became something else. Something patient. Something that could wait 20,000 years if necessary. You knew, Vex breathed. You knew you would wake up in the future. Not specifically, but we prepared for every possibility, including the one where we needed to vanish for a while. Let the galaxy forget us. Forget what we could do. Webb's expression softened. But now we are back, and we are going to need friends. Interested, Vex looked at the disabled pirate fleet, then at the human captain, then at the massive warship disguised as a colony vessel. He thought about 20,000 years of mystery, finally solved. Then he started laughing. He could not help it. The galaxy had spent 200 centuries mourning humanity, building monuments, writing dissertations. And all along, they had just been sleeping, waiting, planning. Captain Webb, Vex said when he finally caught his breath. I think you and I need to have a very long conversation. And then I need to update my dissertation. It seems I got a few things wrong. Welcome to humanity, Commander. We specialize in being underestimated. Outside the viewport, the stars shone cold and bright, and 17,000 humans began waking to a galaxy that was about to remember why it had once feared the dark. If this story entertained or taught you something, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.